Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. We have a packed show for you tonight, and we say always pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in, and always remember, God is in control. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show, and this is PIP Mondays. So always remember, you can donate to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show, or PIP Mondays. Look down below. You can see wherever if you want to send in a donation to the show to keep this family-friendly show going, do so. You know, we'll appreciate it. And also, you know, we start with a couple of jokes, right? Goodness gracious me. We're going to start with a couple of jokes as usual, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start with our first joke of the night to set the tone, and we're gonna bring that up and let it rip. So here we go. All right, share this. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna put that on the screen, and we're gonna do so right now. Here it goes. All right, so let's get that running. All right.
Let me get that. Right there.
Wow, Dice, for real? You just gonna wipe her mouth? You stay playing in my face.
Let me go check on her real quick. I'll be right back. Hey.
Hurry up. That was good. They cut me. Okay.
She got stuck with a bill. So let's get our second joke up on the screen, and then we'll go back to regular programming. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Okay, so we'll put that on the screen, and it's gonna be here in yep. Here we go. Let's let it rip. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So always be aware. That's the essence of what I put forward. Always be aware. And we first of all, I want to address that tonight we were supposed to have Miss Dion Curtis on to talk about school uniforms and give you some wonderful information. But because of unforeseen circumstances, she will not be on tonight. But the good news is that we have rescheduled for Thursday of this week so she can come on and talk to all of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. You know, you don't want to miss it because she has some valuable information for all of you in South Central Jamaica about school uniforms from the youngest to the oldest. You know, they build them. And she's been doing this for many, many years. But whatever is going on with her, we pray and say Godspeed, and hopefully everything will be okay for Thursday. We have also posted a notification, so click on the notify me so that you know when we're coming on live. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So, talking about school uniforms, my little daughter Giovanna had did not like her first school, and she made that absolutely clear. And she spoke to her mom and myself. That's Mom Nikisha and myself, and Nikisha ran around and got her into another school, and that was a beautiful thing. So she's very happy, and you know the takeaway from this is that Miss Dion Curtis from these school uniforms made a special effort to get her new uniform just virtually at the last moment, because that we knew this on Friday, and she got that uniform done in time for her to go to school this morning, and that's a beautiful thing. And little Giovanna, her mom Nikisha took her to the new school. She was absolutely livid and happy, and I'm telling you, she was feeling real good, given the circumstances. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. So let's put her up here in her new uniform. Here we go. So that's little G, my littlest one. She was quite happy. Go, little G. That's little Gigi. Little Giovanna. She's happy with her new school. She said, "What took you so long?" You know, and hats off to Nikisha for running around getting things together. She did it in zero time, and that's a beautiful thing, I'm telling you. So also, ladies and gentlemen, talking about schools here, New Forest High School and has an anniversary coming up, I believe on the 27th of this month. And there's going to be a church service, and here we go. New Forest High School cheers to 10 years. I don't let me talk about that 10 years. I think it's longer. Thank you for being part of our journey, celebrating 10 years of excellence. Join us as we mark this special milestone with a prayer and praise at Littitz Seventh-day Adventist Church in Littitz on that, and that's on Saturday, this Saturday, September 27th, 2025. Now, let me kind of address this. My father was the one who built the home economic center and donated to the school to become a high school, and that was a very long time ago. So I think it's more than 10 years, if I remember right. Goodness gracious me, but congratulations to the staff and principals and students of New Forest High School. We say hats off to you. On Saturday, September 27th, they're going to be celebrating at the marking 10 years at Littitz Seventh-day Adventist Church in Littitz, Manchester. So big deal. And talking about achievements, let's move into the Tokyo Championships. It's over now, and we have the women who did absolutely marvelous in getting stuff done. You know what I mean? They won a lot of medals. In the 4x1, they won the silver medal. And I'm going to show you a little clip on that. And I believe that there was a little problem with the baton change that I think took them out of the gold medal contention. So it was kind of a fumble if you look at it from my perspective. So let's kind of dive into this and see what I'm really talking about. So here we go.
Had a nice exchange here. TT, what do you think?
Oh, we did better than I thought.
it. That was good. We did better than I
So
thought. You know, I
Clayton
received too
took
much
it
of the
there,
baton as I was going
and
down the
I
best.
want you to just look at how this baton change here on this changeover for the Claytons. Check it out. I think that's where they really lost some time. Here we go.
I'm like, don't try to fumble with it. It's already raining. You don't want no mishaps. Just do what you need to do. Keep pushing through and just
So
give.
here they come, and here's the baton. Gonna be the baton. Check this out. Okay, fumbling around. She had to hold her hand on the baton, and that lost them some valuable time. So check the other turnover of the baton. Here we go. And at that point, she's struggling to keep ahead. And look at this exchange. Check this out. Okay. There you go. There you go. Right there. Right there. We lost some time. So it gave Richardson a head start there in terms of getting that transition of the baton just before our anchor leg. And, you know, it was really close. As you can see, she was gaining on her. And if she had gotten that baton, if that baton change was smoother, I do believe would have had that gold medal. But in any case, we say hats off to the girls, and we're so proud of them. And we're gonna listen to Shelly Ann and the girls speak right now and hear what they have to say. So let's bring that on screen. I think it was a good showing, and I do believe there's gonna be a gold medal on the next turnaround. So here we go.
We had to get the stick around, and we're blessed to be able to do that
So
healthy.
let's
We got a
start that
silver
again.
medal, and we're really grateful. We are very satisfied. Ultimately, we didn't put any medal out there. We had to come out here and we had to get the stick around, and we're blessed to be able to do that healthy. We got a silver medal, and we're really grateful for that. The ladies, we came together and, you know, really gave up our best to have this moment. And this is not just for me, it's for the team. It was a team effort and a brilliant run. So we are grateful for all we have accomplished tonight.
So nearly we're running the anchor leg, the last part, last leg. How much of responsibility did you feel to bring the baton on the medal position?
As long as I got the baton, I know it was fair game. And so the goal was just to get to the finish line, hopefully first. We didn't get that today, but we are healthy and we are very pleased.
Well, it means a lot to me knowing that this was my only event that I was competing in. So I come out here to put my best foot forward, and we did that and earned a silver medal. So we're really grateful.
How was it to run in the last competition with Shelly and Fraser Price and to bring this medal into the finish line?
It's an honor, and it's always an honor to compete with her and to know that it's her last lap and she leave with a medal with us. It's grateful. We are grateful.
We are very satisfied.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a good look, and we say hats off to the girls. They did marvelous there in Tokyo, and we're so happy for them. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. We also had a great result in the hurdles as well. It was a beautiful thing. We had two of the Jamaican sprinters on the podium. It was amazing. It was silver and bronze, but it was a good showing, guys. And I'm sure these guys are going to do much better on the next turnaround. So let's get to that and see what happens.
Jamaica just did the unthinkable in the 110-meter hurdles at the Tokyo World Championships, sweeping the podium with a jaw-dropping performance that has the world buzzing. Cordell Tinge entered the Tokyo World Championships as the undisputed favorite, having dominated the 110-meter hurdles all season. But the Jamaican sprinters Orlando Bennett and Tyler Mason were determined to disrupt that narrative.
So as you can see, check this out, guys. Look at that. It was really close, and these guys have not peaked yet. And I'm telling you, it's on the next turnaround, they're going to learn from those mistakes, and they're going to prepare well, because it was not a large gap here. And they're going to perfect their execution over those hurdles. And I'm telling you, check this out. This was great running. However, you know, you got to execute right. You know what I mean? And on this showing, they were pumping, but they got to perfect that execution, and it was so close. And we say hats off to those guys for doing a great job. And I'm telling you, it is amazing, guys. It's amazing. We got a great future in our athletes here. So the history is looking, or the future is looking good, because the history of Tokyo shows that they have what it takes to get there. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. And remember, guys, it's also hurricane season in Jamaica, and you got to be prepared for hurricane season, because a lot of people got caught out over the weekend. And I thought I know there was some flooding and so on, but I want to show you what's going on out there in the tropics, and also what's coming in a few days and so on, so you can see and get prepared and keep abreast of what's going on here, because you can't be too careful. You got to prepare ahead of time, and preparation is the key, because when it comes, it comes. You know what I mean? So you never procrastinate or say it won't hit. You never know, but prepare ahead of time. Good preparation is the key. So let's hear from the weatherman what he has.
It is Monday, September 22nd, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. We have a really busy week ahead. The tropics are now getting very active. This may be the most active week we've seen so far in the Atlantic basin. We have a lot of areas to watch. Gabrielle, of course, close to Bermuda, but on track. That'll slide just to the east. Then we swing here, and we have 3 tropical waves we're watching. This is the one that wasn't getting a lot of attention, but I was talking about this about 3 to 4 days ago. This sneaky one could develop. At the least, it is going to bring us really heavy rain in parts of the...
So for right now, ladies and gentlemen, you have time. We don't know where this is going to head to, but it is absolutely important that you prepare ahead of time for any eventuality. It could be nothing, but it could be also something. But you don't want to be scampering at the last minute. Prepare ahead of time. Get your flashlight batteries and food ready, secure them in case of flooding, have some contingency plans if something happened. And also you gotta be keep abreast of what's going on with the weather, because it's hurricane season. So you gotta be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen in a little bit more. Here we go.
Caribbean. So we need to watch this week very carefully. I appreciate you subscribing to this channel, likes on the video. It helps get the video out, because we're going to see a lot of action in some spots this week with either a name system developing, or even if it doesn't, we're going to see really heavy rain working in. Either way, we have a lot of weather headed our way, right, as we go through the week ahead. And we've been watching scattered areas of rain: Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Cayman Islands, Cuba, back through the Bahamas. But it's this first spot we'll be watching that is really going to increase the rain. So let me start with this to give you the heads up, and then I'll show you everything we have going on out there. So thank you for your patience in this video. There's just...
So pay close attention. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. But check this out, guys. You got to pay attention. Here we go.
A lot to cover. Now, this is the rain map for the next 3 days. Anywhere from Puerto Rico down through about St. Lucia, a little bit more so Dominica, Martinique. Anywhere in here, flooding is going to be a potential, especially tomorrow night into Wednesday, giving you that heads up. Even if this first tropical wave is not named, and most likely it will not be initially, it is going to really increase the chance of rain. Big rain totals. We could have some spots of 150 millimeters of rain or 6 inches of rain or more. I can't stress this enough. In this area here, Puerto Rico, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Antigua, Barbuda, British and U.S. Virgin Islands, where we had a lot of rain earlier last week. Saba, Stacia, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Guadalupe, Dominica, really heavy rain totals. Again, stressing that map. Want to give you the heads up. I do this channel for safety, and I want to get that information out that we're going to have big tropical downpours for many of us, and we'll continue to go island by island, big or small. All islands matter. I'll be tracking it for us as we go forward. So it's this spot that's going to slide in. Again, not as a name system. I want to keep things in perspective, right? But we know systems that may not get a name still could give us the threat of flooding. And that's why I just showed you that map. Here's the other spot behind it. Both of these may.
And if you notice what he said, even a system that does not get a name has the threat of flooding. So it does not have to be a hurricane. It's just a system that develops, and it will can bring with it possibly a lot of rain, and that rain count can go up, and there could be flooding across anywhere in the Caribbean. So especially Jamaica. And if you notice over the weekend, there was a freak kind of a storm, a rain occasion that caused massive flooding. And you got to understand that you got to be prepared, and don't get caught out, because this is serious. It's hurricane season. Let's listen a couple more seconds, and then we'll move on. Here we go.
Develop, even if they don't, big rainmakers, and then another area we're watching back behind that. All right, let's go step by step now. Let me show you Gabrielle. Track storms start to finish. This will be to the east of Bermuda.
So that is not going to affect the Caribbean. So let's move out of that, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you prepare, and prepare well. Prepare ahead of time. Anything can happen during hurricane season. It doesn't have to be a named system, but it could. Any development has the potential to have heavy downfall of rain, and heavy downfall of rain can cause flooding, landslides, and so on. So you got to be prepared ahead of time. It's hurricane season. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have been warned. Welcome back to RAMP Promotions, The Real Deal podcast show. Also, the elections are over, right? Elections are over. The people did what they were supposed to. They voted. And a lot of people voted. And we have now the Jamaica Labour Party on its third term. The People's National Party is now have a great representation in the opposition section of Parliament. One thing we can agree at is that whichever party won, which is the JLP, the salaries have increased. So the taxpayers are now on the hook for $700 million, a $700 million price tag for the government. Now, we knew that now that the JLP is on its third term, and in its first two terms, they did well, just like PJ Patterson. But at that time, PJ had less to work with in terms of funding, because we owed a lot of money at that time. So did Portia Simpson Miller. They did well given what they were working with. Now, with the Andrew Holness third term government, they have a lot more to work with, because the austerity is not there. That servicing of the debt, the debt has come down, so they have a lot more to work with. So they have they're being paid a lot, $700 million from the taxpayers, in order to run the affairs of Jamaica. So we are going to watch and see what their agenda is moving forward, and if the promises will be kept moving forward. We say to the government, both the leaders and the opposition, that do the right thing. We're praying for you, and we're praying that you do the best for the Jamaican people and Jamaica in its entirety, and also represent Jamaica and the Jamaican people on the world stage in a great way. it is time. They did well over the last 2 years. Now it's time to do great because you have a lot more to work with. So therefore, we say Godspeed to them. And we're gonna just give you a video. Let's see. Let's get that video up, and let's see what they have to say about this government. So that will be a great opportunity for you to hear from a different perspective. Here we go. So here it is, guys. Let's get into it.
So there's this Oprah meme that comes from one of her giveaway shows, right? So she's going, you get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car. And it's kind of like that right now in Jamaica, because it's you get a ministry, you get a ministry, everybody's a minister. And that's because between the cabinet and the junior ministers, almost everybody get a work. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thanks for joining me. Time for tea.
Okay, so let's hear from Dion Jackson Miller what she has to say from her perspective.
So let's do the math. The JLP won 35 seats in Parliament. The Prime Minister announced a 19-member cabinet. Now, 3 of them are senators, so that means there are 16 MPs in the cabinet. That left 19 government MPs in the lower house. Then, of course, they had to name a speaker and a deputy speaker. That left 17. Then the list of junior ministers came out. All of 14. 2 of those were senators. So when you take away the 12 from the 17 remaining government MPs, that leaves us with a minuscule 5 government members in the lower house who don't have a junior ministerial or ministerial position. That's a backbench of 5. I don't even know if you can call that a bench, a mini bench, piano bench, a stool. You know what it reminds me of? High school during PE class when they used to pick side and some away what can't jump.
You know, so this is giving you the makeup of the government at this point and who's holding what portfolio. But here, listen to this, guys. Let's hear this.
Concerns here is cost. No, here's a salary scale.
And let me kind of pause this for a second. The Prime Minister is at $28,587,893. And if his wife is now the Speaker of the House, she's at $22,870,314. So that is about 51,000 and change in his household. So we're going to pay close attention to this. Let's go.
Under the new compensation scheme after the parliamentarians had given themselves that huge increase in 2023. So the Prime Minister is supposed to earn a salary of 28.5 million. And I say that because after the outrage, the public outrage, when people realized how much they were going to get paid, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said he wasn't going to accept the increase. And also the leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, said he would give the increase in his salary to charity. So we actually need to ask both of them who are going now that the election is over. They're now going to be taking the increase. Deputy Prime Minister gets 25.7 million. No, the Constitution doesn't provide for the position of Deputy Prime Minister. So sometimes we've had one, sometimes we don't. Right now we do. Minister of Finance gets 24.5 million. Ministers of State get 18.2. The Speaker gets 22.8 million. Parliamentary Secretary gets 17.1. The Leader of the Opposition, 25.7 million. Deputy Speaker gets 17.1 million. Members of Parliament, the ordinary member of Parliament, them when they're on a post, they get 14.1. But as we've seen right now on the government side, there are very few of those. And the cabinet ministers now get 22.8 million. So that's a whole heap of money for a whole heap.
So this is a lot of money for the government to be taken in. So it's time to hold your feet to the fire and say, give the results that we need. You made the promises. Now it's time to deliver because they have been sworn in and ready to go. So it's time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the people who voted to ask the question, when is it going to start? When are we going to benefit? Here we go. Let's listen some more. Here we go.
Former Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is now the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development. And by the way, remember, this is one of the issues as well, right? Every time we have a cabinet being announced and all these bag of new ministries being created and named and made up, every time you change a ministry's name, everything else have to change. Stationery have to change, letterhead have to change, signs have to change, website have to change. And of course, there's going to be a cost associated with that. If we would ever decide to just stick with a number of standard ministry names, that wouldn't happen. But of course, that not gonna happen because.
So the names sound great, but let's see if they're gonna put in the work, because that's what we're waiting for. You know, we need that work to be put in so that the people can benefit now that they're in a good place.
Portfolio in his ministry, including former Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, Andrew Wheatley. He's now Minister without portfolio. He's responsible for science, technology and special projects. Wheatley had stepped down in 2018 following concerns over the management of Petrojam. We did expect him to return along with the JLP chairman and the former Minister of National Security, Bobby Montague. Montague rejoins as Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, responsible for land titling and settlement. Now, Montague had stepped down in 2022 following concerns about the issuing of gun licenses by the Firearm Licensing Authority.
So you're going to watch this carefully.
Minister, he keeps national security, but it's now called National Security and Peace. A big change is that the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs no longer appears. Marlene Malahoo Fort has not been named to the cabinet. Lots of eyebrows went up when we realized this. Now, the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs had actually been created by pulling out some of the divisions from Ministry of Justice, and those have now been put back, and the name has been changed to Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Delroy Chuck, again the minister.
So the names have been changed, but let's see.
And political expediency on one hand and renewal on the other. The Prime Minister has been talking a lot about renewal, but you're certainly not seeing it in the cabinet where most of the faces are the same. So it seems he's decided to go for that through the junior ministers. So we see newcomers like Tova Hamilton, Rhoda Moy Crawford, and Crystal Lee, along with returning faces like Alanda Terrelong and Xavier Main. Now, it seems like the strategy is probably to start with the same slate generally, then have some of the older ministers step down during the term and elevate some of the junior ministers. But if you're doing that, we would kind of expect to see the junior ministers shadowing some of the portfolios where you would be expecting to see some of the ministers step down, not true? Because if that happens, you could see a kind of seamless transition taking place. And some of the ministers that would expect to see step down are Horace Chang. He's already told me that this is certainly his last term. He's probably going to be stepping down during the term. Babsy Grange, Delroy Chuck, Desmond McKenzie, Ed Bartlett. We already saw Floyd Green take over from Ed Bartlett as leader of government business in the House. A change there. But we kind of have a mixed bag now when you look at the junior ministers. Alanda Terrelong surely is ready for a full ministry, but he's junior to Kamina Johnson-Smith. Well, she's one of the strong JLP leaders. Nobody expects to see her step down. So is it then that we're going to move Terrelong to a new ministry entirely that he would have to learn from scratch? Or is it that there are no plans to name him a minister at all? If Delroy Chuck steps down as Justice and Constitutional Affairs, then does that mean that his current junior, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, the former speaker, would be stepping up as Justice? Because I'm not sure that says renewal to me. Juliette Cuthbert is junior minister again in the Ministry of National Security. It would be interested if we see her elevated because we've never had a female Minister of National Security. Kerencia Morrison is in Babs's ministry. That could work. Tova Hamilton is in tourism. I can absolutely see her stepping up if Ed Bartlett steps down. Now, Delroy Williams is local government. He's junior in the Ministry of Local Government. He's junior to Desmond McKenzie. McKenzie is a former mayor of Kingston. Delroy Williams himself is a former mayor of Kingston, so he could absolutely be in line to be the next Minister of Local Government. And then it might be a little bit of problems for the current mayor of Kingston, who is Andrew Swaby of the People's National Party, because he took over from Delroy Williams after the local government elections. There could be some storm clouds ahead there, folks. Watch and see. The main problem with the size is that the Prime Minister seems to have felt compelled to bring back some of the longest serving ministers. Now, this idea of a two-step process, bring on the junior ministers and have...
I do believe that to keep things flowing and then maybe it's my opinion that he may transition them over during the course of the term that he's serving. So we're gonna watch and see what happens, because he's probably want to keep things level going forward and then make the transition. So let's see what his strategy is, because we need to know, because we need the results.
Jamaica at that time. Then after the 2011 election, the JLP criticized former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller for her 20-member cabinet. So yeah, this is a recurring decimal. Anytime we have these discussions, you're going to hear people talking about the Nettleford report. That's the 1992 report on the structure of government that had recommended a size for cabinet. The Nettleford report had proposed 11 core ministries: Office of the Prime Minister and Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Finance and Planning, Ministry of Resource Development, that would have brought together education, training, science, technology, and culture, Ministry of Health and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture and Mining, Ministry of Trade, Industry and Tourism, Ministry of Justice and National Security. Just to say, we used to have a Ministry of Justice and National Security. It was felt that it was a conflict of interest. The human rights people used to cuss about it all the time, so it was separated. The Nettleford report also suggested the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, a Ministry of Labor, Employment and Social Services, a Ministry of Housing, Works and Public Utilities, and a Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. Yet another example of us doing an expert report and then ignoring the recommendations. Another day, maybe we'll look at that a little bit more closely, along with the rest of the suggestions in the Nettleford report. Here are the other appointments, though. Matthew Samuda has graduated from being a minister without portfolio. He's now the portfolio minister of Environment, Water, and Climate Change. Now, this is a good pick. Samuda is knowledgeable about the portfolio. He has a history with it. He was the one who was the architect of the plastic bag ban, as well as the styrofoam ban, even before he was in cabinet. Robert Morgan returns as minister without portfolio, responsible for works.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can go through and check the JIS report, and you'll see, all the appointments. But one thing we're sure of is that they're ready to rock and roll. So it's time to hit the ground running with the Andrew Holness government and their agenda. So we'll be watching and seeing what the results are over the next 3 to 4 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to remind the former Alpart workers who were disenfranchised from their pensions to contact Mr. Owen Witter. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. To each one, tell one. Contact Mr. Owen Witter for some valuable information. You need to do so immediately. So that's the former Alpart workers who were disenfranchised from their pensions. Please contact Mr. Owen Witter immediately. It is important that you do so for some valuable information. So let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. And coming soon, welcome back to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. If you're just joining in, always like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. We call Huddling Pizza. Bless up, brother and sister team. I think the law should be bottom up and not top down. Community planning. Every time, Huddling, big up yourself. Welcome to the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming soon, we're going to have, I'm just going to give a rundown of what's going on here. And coming soon, that's on September 25th. Remember, Miss Dion Curtis would have been on here to talk about the school uniforms and so on. She'll be back here on Thursday, September 25th, and she'll be ready and willing to go. Hopefully all is well. So we pray for her that everything is going well with her. So stay tuned for Thursday. She'll be here to talk about the school uniforms. And as I told you before, that she built my daughter's uniform in such a short time and on such short notice. I'm telling you, these school uniforms is one to be reckoned with, and I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. And we say thank you to her for coming through for my little daughter. And we say like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell so you can hear from her, and she can give you all the information you need to know. If you have a young child or an adult child who's going to school, she builds those uniforms, and we say hats off to Dee. Can't wait for Thursday, and it's going to be a big deal. I'm telling you. Dee's school uniform, ladies and gentlemen, 2 Market Street Junction, PO, St. Elizabeth, upstairs, and it says between In-Town Super Safe Supermarket and the Library of Junction. So you can always find her there, and she'll take care of you. I guarantee you. We'll also open the phone lines when she's on. Just tell me in the comment section if you want to ask her some questions during the course of our interview, and she can answer it live to you on Thursday. So it's going to be 9:30 p.m. If you notice, we're starting earlier. So I know a lot of you go to bed early. So we're trying to cut the time down to earlier so we can get everyone in instead of when it's live, so you can call in. So we want to open the phone lines to you so you can be a part of the show. So look out for that, ladies and gentlemen, in the future. In the very near future, we want to open the phone lines so we can have a conversation with our audience. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell, share it, share the link so others can keep this family-friendly show alive. So also remember, Jamaican will be here on the show on the 27th of September. That's the 27th. He's on tour right now, and he's on another side of the world. And he'll be talking to us from thousands of miles away, where he's doing a show. He went through Australia, and he's in another country now, all the way over there at that side of the world. And he'll be on here to tell you his story and also to give you some valuable insights. So big up to Jamaican, safe journey, and we'll be talking to him on the 27th of September. You gotta like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta be on. Click that notification bell. Click notify, so you know when we're coming on. All right. So click that notify icon so you can know when we're coming on live. You want to talk to him live? We're going to open the phone lines as well, so you can talk to him while he's on tour, and he can give you a feedback of what he's experiencing out there. He's a veteran in the business. He's been doing marvelous across the world. And I'm telling you, he's one of those reggae artists that keeps it clean. And he's also surging in every known social media and platform. Jamaican, we say big up every time. And we can't wait for the 27th of September to hear you. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, also, we have Naughty Virtue coming up, and you got to listen to Naughty Virtue. He has a new song. We call it Wake Up and Live, and he's going to be, believe me, that song is going places. It tore up Europe when Asha D debuted on Passion Radio UK on Friday. And you know, Asha D is on every Friday now on his Traffic Jam show. But I'm telling you, when he dropped the Naughty Virtue on Friday, it burned up the internet. Also the Jamaican, when he dropped I think he dropped the Jamaican, and it tore up the internet and then tore up the airwaves. Big up to Asha D, my nephew, And but Naughty Virtue will be on this show on the 29th of September. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Do it right now. Click that notification bell so you know when we're coming on, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be a big deal. He's got the new single, that's a hit single that on the 2-time rhythm, and it's going places with Cargo and Angel and all the crew that's on there. But Naughty Virtue's single is burning up the airwaves, and you got to hear him on the 29th of September right here on NARAM Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Big up to Naughty Virtue. We can't wait to hear you. I'm telling you. Also, we're going to open up the phone lines when he's on. If you want to talk to him and ask him a few questions, as I always say, keep it clean, because if you don't, we're going to block you. We're going to cut you off and block you. You don't want to take anything derogatory on this program, because we will not tolerate it. But Naughty Virtue is doing big things across the globe, and I'm sure he's going to be touring very, very soon. I'm very sure of that, because this is ripping up the airwaves right now. And he's that song, Wake Up and Live, as it states, Wake Up and Live. It's a big deal across the globe. Big up to Naughty Virtue again. You know, he found another one. He found another one, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm telling you, Naughty is doing great, and we say hats off to him. You know, he's from the home ground, and Naughty is one of us, and he's family as well. You know what I mean? Mr. Owen Witter told me over the weekend, you know, so Naughty, our family, and I go to school with him. You know, I never know. So, ladies and gentlemen, big up to Naughty Virtue every time. So, also, you remember that Asher D, my nephew, also debuted on Passion Radio on Friday. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Asher D opened up the show, and they had some technical difficulties. And when he opened up the show, remember, he's going to be on every Friday between 6 and 8 p.m. GMT time. That's UK time. So wherever you are, make the calculation. And when he opened up the show, I'm going to tell you this. The internet went wild. The Richter scale on that radio station just went off the charts. It was overloaded because my nephew has been off radio for some time, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, he delivered. You know, the audience was longing to hear him because he knows what he's doing. He's also a big producer right now, and he's responsible for a lot of artists' careers in terms of elevating them to higher heights. He has done his job, and he's back on the radio in a big way. And download that app, the passionradiouk.com. Go to the website, download the app, get on there on Friday. It is amazing because he breaks up his segments, and also he incorporates new artists. And DJ Extension from Maypen, I've already committed to send your information over to my nephew, and he will be looking into your work. We need to talk. You need to contact me because you are an upcoming artist, a brand new one, and that's a great platform to go on because he is tearing up Europe. And we say big up to Asher D. He's doing a marvelous job. So, ladies and gentlemen, download the app. go on to passionradiouk.com and get the app, because on Friday he's going to be blazing, and then he's going to be amazing. It's what if you've heard good DJs, you listen on Friday, you'll hear a great DJ who's also a big producer as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley, congratulations to my nephew. And you heard about hot gossip. We've had a series on hot gossip, and we are now waiting for DJ Latta to come back in the studio. DJ Latta has been on international business for a while now, and he's taking care of business. However, based on his future plans, he will not be here permanently. He'll be passing through, or he will be coming on the show remotely when he has the time, because he's changing directions. So therefore, we have a few series that, and I'm reading from my script, and we have a few series that needs to be put to rest here. And that's with hot gossip. And I've sent a message to Mr. Lee and Ishi, and we need DJ Latta to be here, or he should be joining the conversation remotely so we can complete this series. Hot gossip was one of the biggest, baddest sounds in South Central Jamaica, and we need to complete that series, but we have to have DJ Latta here. And we're waiting on him to complete his journey so that we can continue to close the series out and move on. So therefore, also with Dragon Force and the Mad Squad, Skinny and the crew, all the crew, which include DJ Latta. DJ Latta also was instrumental on both sound systems. That's Hot Gossip and also Dragon Force. So we're waiting on him to get to settle in so we can get this done. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell so you know when the date is going to drop, because it's going to be a big, big deal. I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen. Also, remember the Naram family in the UK. They're waiting in the wings. And you got to like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell so you know when the whole Naram family will be on here live. The stories, the achievements, the hurdles, the difficulties, the success, those stories you got to hear, because this is history. And big up to Colonel Smiley Burrow from Channel 1, and also Floyd Stuka and the Massive over there in the UK. We're almost ready for you. So get ready. It's coming. And ladies and gentlemen, you're my audience. I always deliver. This is Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show, and we will deliver. The Naram family will be here to give the story, and it will be amazing. Big up to the crew. Oh yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to change gears here for a little bit. Let me look at my script. Let's change gears for a little bit. It's going to be a big deal in a little bit. We're going to talk about immigration, U.S. immigration, and it's breaking news. So you got to stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell, because this is breaking news. I'm telling you, the vibe is on. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big, big deal. You got to stay tuned. It's a big deal. So check it out. All right, let's start with some breaking news. All right. This is a big, big deal. I'm going to share my screen with you, and you got to hear this, because they're now using technology to find a lot of people here in the U.S. to get rid of them, to deport them. You get what I'm saying? If you have something adverse in your history, or you cross the border, you're undocumented, or you have a deportation order, they're using technology now. So let's hear from attorney Brad Bernstein, and let him tell you about it. Here we go.
Imagine immigration officers sweeping through neighborhoods, guided by artificial intelligence telling them who to arrest and what houses to knock on, and a computer algorithm telling the immigration officer which people to put on a deportation flight home and which people to arrest, sit in jail, and see an immigration judge for deportation. And no, this is not a movie. This is real. It's called Immigration OS, and it's starting this week. This AI system puts together Social Security records, IRS records, DMV records, license plate readers, passport data, and probably some other data that I don't even know about, and put all this information together and tell immigration where to raid, who to arrest, and where to route people. Immigration officials are saying it works like Amazon Prime, but with human beings. But algorithms make mistakes and use biased data. Even ChatGPT is wrong half the time. And this is going to end up having wrongful arrests, wrongful detentions, wrongful deportation, and no human being overseeing this. And once this system is perfected, it can be used against the entire fabric of American society, used against journalists, protesters, everyday Americans that the government wants to target. And even if you say you're doing nothing wrong, imagine you being targeted by an AI system wrongfully. And no one is overseeing this. Mark this week as an inflection point when we start living the movie Terminator. And anyone who knows me knows I don't gaslight, but this actually scares me. Is this the beginning of the end of our basic civil liberties? Tell me what you think in the comments. I'll be watching. Now, if you or your family are arrested, you certainly still have rights in the United States. There is a constitution, and you should be calling me Brad Bernstein, Immigration.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard it, this is real. This is absolutely real. They're using AI to track you down. You get what I'm saying? So this, as attorney Brad Bernstein said, is also scaring him. And he's an attorney. Ladies and gentlemen, it scares me too. It scares everybody. This is real. I've been talking about this for many, many months with a lot of people, and I've been warning about this. Technology has increased. Be careful what you post. Your digital footprint is more credible than what you say. It's all part of a grand scheme. And this is happening in real time, ladies and gentlemen. So this is no time for you to be procrastinating. Speak to an immigration specialist, speak to an immigration attorney. It is absolutely critical that you do. They're using technology now to track you down and to control everything that they do. This is real as it gets. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at what's happening on the other front. And there has been a lot of ICE crackdowns, and self-deportation is now in full effect. People are taking themselves out of the United States because it has come to a point where it is necessary for them to do that, because there's no way out for them. Time has come. So let's look at that right now and hear what that, and I'll comment afterwards.
A new trend is emerging among migrants who once sought that American dream. Many are now self-deporting or ending their journeys to the U.S. What a new Rolling Stone article calls the Great Reverse Migration.
For years, critics claimed America could never stop the flow of illegal immigration. They said the southern border was uncontrollable and that migrants would always find a way in. But today, something extraordinary is happening. The American dream is no longer pulling millions north. Instead, migrants are turning back, abandoning their journeys, and even deporting themselves. This shocking trend, what some are calling the Great Reverse Migration, proves.
And this is happening in a big, big way, ladies and gentlemen. Reverse migration is happening, and I'm telling you, it is the real deal. This is a big deal, and hundreds of thousands of are now heading out of the country because what is the crackdown is too enormous, and the Trump administration has cornered every illegal migrant in so many ways. And you go back to my previous podcast, you'll see that he has closed the border by using the laws of the United States, and he has implemented some executive orders that also compounds this issue, that if you're here and you're undocumented or you have adverse things in your past or present, it will affect you. So reverse migration, the choice now is stay and get incarcerated or go home and collect $1,000 with a chance of coming back at some later date. Here we go.
That tough enforcement, strong leadership, and the relentless work of ICE agents are finally restoring control. Stay tuned, because in this video, we're breaking down how ICE's aggressive crackdown is reshaping migration, why thousands are fleeing back south, and what it all means for America's future. By the end of this report, you'll see why supporting ICE isn't just policy, it's common sense. And if you want to stay informed about the truth behind America's fight for secure borders, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. When President Trump returned to office in 2025, one promise stood above the rest: to put an end to unchecked illegal immigration. And unlike past administrations, he wasted no time. ICE was given renewed authority, deportation quotas were enforced, and sanctuary cities faced unprecedented scrutiny. For the first time in years, the federal government sent a clear message: the United States will not be a revolving door for illegal crossings. This was not about politics. It was about law, order, and protecting American families. The results? Almost immediate. Border crossings plunged. Illegal migrants who once felt confident they could disappear into the U.S. interior suddenly found themselves facing ICE raids, detention, and swift deportation, and the word spread fast. But what happened next shocked even the most seasoned immigration experts. For the first time in modern history, thousands of migrants began turning back. During the peak of 2024, under Biden's weak border approach, nearly 3,000 people crossed the treacherous Darien jungle every single day. That jungle, stretching between Colombia and Panama, became a superhighway for illegal migration into the United States. Families risked everything because they believed the reward at the end was worth it. But by June of 2025, the number crossing the Darien was no longer in the thousands. It wasn't even in the hundreds. The daily number had fallen to just 10 people a day compared to 3,000. This collapse didn't happen by accident. It was the direct result of ICE's renewed mission under Trump.
And all the executive orders that Donald Trump, that's President Donald Trump signed, all the actions they took amounted to the result of reverse migration. It is amazing how this happened, because President Biden said Congress had to act for this to happen. And it only took a stroke of his pen and a few decisions that caused this reverse migration. It is amazing, ladies and gentlemen, because the atmosphere is now not favorable for people to come across the border. It does not make sense. And they're now quickly realizing that the best thing to do is to go back home, because they have a better chance, instead of spending time in Guantanamo or Alcatraz, or in Africa or El Salvador, or in a prison prison environment, which is a detention center forever and ever, for a long time before they're processed. So they've been given the option of taking $1,000, giving you get a flight, and you go back to your country, and you can clean the slate and then come back the legal way once you don't have anything adverse in your history and so on. And there's a possibility they'll accept you back in the United States if you fit into a certain criteria. This is amazing what is happening, and hats off to the Trump administration. They say back to law and order and back to common sense. He's putting down the hammer. He's dropping the hammer on things that are illegal, things that are derogatory, and also he's bringing back law and order. And you can't blame him. Every country will do that to keep things flowing, because at the end of the day, you need your country to advance. You need your country to build and be a better place for the country's citizens. And that's why he said America first. And this is happening in record speed right now in the United States. It's back to law and order. And he said it's time for the shenanigans to be over. And believe me, it's happening in a rapid way. So check it out.
Many are turning back, taking a dangerous but shorter boat ride from Panama to Colombia to escape northward failure. Every day, hundreds pay nearly $300 each to cram into boats and head south. Yes, the journey is risky. Yes, some have drowned, including children. But migrants are still choosing this over another attempt to enter the United States. Why? Because ICE has made the message crystal clear. Cross illegally and you will be caught.
And that is the message, ladies and gentlemen. Cross illegally and you will be caught. And if you notice, there's 10,000 more agents. USCIS are hiring more agents with police powers in this coming month, October. So and 600 more military lawyers are now immigration judges, and that compounds the problem. Now things are moving faster than usual, and you're in and you're out. If you don't have a claim to fame to be here in the United States, you're gone, and real quick too. And then you could be barred for a very long time. So you got to know before you go. Speak to an immigration specialist. Speak to an immigration attorney. Know before you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is NARAM Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. We're going to talk about deportation flights right now. Here we go. So it is. The deportation flights are happening on a rapid right now. When I say rapid, it's ramping up on a daily basis, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big deal. So I wanted to bring that to you so you can understand where I'm coming from, because the game has changed. So here we go. Let's check this out, and I'll comment afterwards. Here we go. Oh, check this out. Oh, yeah.
Across the United States, ICE operations are running close to full capacity nationwide. Planes are departing almost daily, carrying individuals under final removal orders as enforcement continues. What's happening now goes beyond routine enforcement. ICE operations have intensified, with flights departing from multiple states more frequently, reflecting a significant increase in deportation activity. From Florida to New York, Texas to Arizona, deportation flights are scheduled frequently across multiple states, signaling a notable increase in activity over recent months. In this video, we'll break down how ICE has expanded these operations, which cities are at the center of the surge, and what it means for the broader immigration debate. But before we move further, if you want to stay updated on these major developments, make sure to subscribe to never miss an update. Let's dive in. Across the country, ICE deportation flights are operating at a heightened pace. From regional airports to major hubs, aircraft are taking off almost daily, carrying individuals under final removal orders. This is part of a broader, nationwide effort, not isolated raids. These flights are carefully scheduled, coordinated with local, state, and federal authorities, and follow strict security protocols. Federal officers, along with private aviation contractors, ensure every flight runs efficiently and safely. The individuals on these flights come from a variety of enforcement operations.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what you got to understand is that they're sweeping across the country, and don't expect that you will be. If you miss the sweep, you can lay low and ride this out. There's so much time ahead for this president that you don't even understand. You got to survive. You got to come out in the open at some point, and somewhere along the line, you're going to be caught because either you're at a store, you're at a party, you're visiting family, you're using a cell phone. You know, somewhere along the line, you'll be caught because they're using AI now, artificial intelligence. So you're being cornered in every possible way. And it is necessary for you to make a informed decision. If you're still here, you're undocumented, or you've overstayed. You know, did you hear in my last podcast that they're going to review 55 million visas, whether it be visitors visas, workers visas, any type of visas? They're going to review those for revocation or deportation. So you got to understand that they've cornered this. They've found the way to corner it within the law. They've put other laws around it, and then they've topped that off with a cherry on top with AI. That's the computer. So are you going to live in isolation in a cave forever and ever? No, I don't think so. Are you going to stay away from technology or the cameras that are all over the place, including phone cameras, because the phones watch you continuously, whether it be in front or behind, because there's two cameras, right? So are you going to hide your voice because they have voice recognition or facial recognition? You're going to change your appearance? What about your ID? Is your ID going to run out like your passport and you got to renew it? It's public knowledge, isn't it? So, ladies and gentlemen, speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist, because this is a big deal. So let's continue a couple more seconds of this, and then we'll switch over to the next topic.
Balancing enforcement priorities with logistical efficiency. Each case is carefully coordinated to ensure that flights are fully utilized and departures occur as scheduled. The operation covers a notable scale. From major cities to smaller regional airports, federal officers and contractors work around the clock to move large numbers of individuals across the country each month. This structured nationwide effort highlights not only the agency's operational capabilities, but also the careful planning behind what might appear to the public as routine deportation flights. According to various reports, around 30,000 individuals have reportedly been deported from the United States in the past month, with some sources suggesting that nearly 1,500 of those removals occurred in the past few days. These figures illustrate the ongoing enforcement of final removal orders and show how short-term operations contribute to broader monthly totals.
So this is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse, because now you have more agents coming online very soon, and they're going to keep the sweep going, and this is going to intensify, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to make a decision. Speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist, and you'll hear in as we move along that even marriage is not even guaranteed anymore. You get what I'm saying? So everything is being curtailed. They're investigating more. They're scrutinizing more. it is not the best time to be on the wrong side of the immigration law. So let's listen to this a couple more seconds, and I'm going to move to the next topic. Here we go.
This level of activity underscores the volume of individuals subject to final removal orders and provides a clear snapshot of deportation trends over time. By examining both the monthly total and the recent daily figures, it becomes evident that these removals are part of an ongoing process, marking a notable period of enforcement activity. ICE relies heavily on charter flights operated through private contractors to carry out deportations. These flights allow large numbers of individuals to be moved efficiently while following legal and procedural requirements. Each flight is carefully scheduled, and federal officers are present during every stage of the operation. They ensure that all steps are properly supervised and maintain close coordination with contractors to keep operations organized and controlled. Safety is a top priority. Strict security protocols are applied to ensure proper coordination and minimize risks. Flights are monitored closely from departure to arrival, and contingency plans are in place for any unexpected situations.
Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? This is a well thought out, well-oiled machine that is working, and it's working very, very well. So, like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell to warn your counterparts, whether family, friends, even your enemies. You need to let them know that this is not the time to be fooling around and, creating fumble doubles. This is not the time. You gotta act, and act now. Speak to an immigration specialist, speak to an immigration attorney, because this is a big deal. And let's talk about another big deal: the new rules for marriage green cards. This is something that you need to pay close attention to if it applies to you, because this is not gonna get any better anytime soon. So here we go. Let's dive into that and check this out. The new rules for marriage-based green cards. Let's check this out, ladies and gentlemen. It is a big deal. Here we go.
And helps us bring you fresh, exciting content every week. Hit that subscribe button and be part of our journey. A marriage green card is a special document allows the husband-wife of a U.S. citizen green card holder to live and work permanently in the United States. For many couples, this is the first and most important step toward building a life together in America. The process has always required careful attention to detail, but as of today, September 20th, 2025, the landscape has shifted significantly. Navigating this path now requires even more diligence. Under the current Trump administration, the federal government has introduced a series of procedural updates, not a single sweeping new law. But these updates fundamentally alter the application experience for couples. These changes are happening for a few key reasons, according to government statements. The administration has expressed a strong desire to enhance national security, ensure the integrity of the U.S. immigration system. This means a much stronger focus on verifying that every marriage is authentic, not entered into just for an immigration benefit. The goal is to close loopholes that could be exploited. As a result, USCIS has been directed to tighten its review processes.
This is pretty cool. I have here the Valerian Vision Master Pro 2
and
projector.
Go back to
Valerian was kind enough to
making every step more rigorous and demanding. The practical effect is the journey to a green card has become more complex. What used to be straightforward now involves more paperwork, stricter deadlines, a higher level of scrutiny. For couples starting today, the old ways may no longer be enough. Being unprepared, relying on outdated information is now one of the biggest risks, potentially leading to delays or outright denials. This guide will help you understand what has changed and what you need to do to succeed. The new environment demands a proactive, meticulous approach. The burden of proof is heavier than ever. Show your marriage is real and demonstrate you meet every technical requirement. It is very important to understand Congress has not passed a major new immigration law that overhauls the marriage green card system. Instead, what we are seeing in 2025 is a strategy of incremental change. The Trump administration has used its executive authority to direct agencies like USCIS to modify their internal operating procedures, forms, enforcement priorities. Think of it less like a single giant wall being built and more like hundreds of small new hurdles being placed along a familiar path. Each one on its own might seem manageable, but together they create a much more challenging obstacle course for applicants. These small procedural changes add up to a significant new reality. For example, a simple mistake like using an older version of a form, which might have been accepted with a warning in the past, will now almost certainly lead to an immediate rejection of your entire application package. Similarly, the requirement to submit separate payments for different forms instead of one combined check adds a layer of complexity that can easily trip up applicants who are not paying close attention. These are not changes to the fundamental eligibility for a green card, but they are changes to the process that can stop an application in its tracks. The cumulative effect of these modifications is a system that is less forgiving of error. The grace periods and flexibilities that once existed are rapidly disappearing. The government's approach seems to be one of strict compliance, where every rule, no matter how small, is enforced to the letter. This means the responsibility falls squarely on you, the applicant, to be perfectly compliant. You have to check for the latest form versions on the USCIS website, read the instructions for each form multiple times, and ensure every single piece of required evidence is included in your initial submission. This new landscape can feel overwhelming, but understanding the strategy behind it is the first step towards successfully navigating it. Instead of looking for one big rule change, you must adopt a mindset of extreme thoroughness, treating every single step of the process with the highest level of care and attention. Let's break down the most significant procedural changes you will face when applying for a marriage green card in 2025. First and foremost are the new forms and stricter deadlines.
Okay, so you got to pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Listen carefully, and if this applies to you, like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. Here we go.
USCIS is updating its forms more frequently, and you must use the absolute latest edition available on their website at the time of filing. There are no more grace periods. Submitting an application on a form that is even 1 day out of date will result in a rejection, and you will have to start over. Another key change involves application.
And when you start over, you could be placed in removal proceedings immediately. That's the caveat that you got to take away from this. So you got to be correct the first time. You also got to make sure you put forward every possible evidence and answer every possible question that you need to answer. So you got to get it right the first time. And this is a difference of how it has been dealt with in the past. So you got to be absolutely sure. If you're not sure and you don't know what you're doing, speak to an immigration specialist, speak to an immigration attorney, and know before you go. Because this is a big, big deal. You can lose your money. You can be put in deportation or removal proceedings, and you got to start all over again. And it's very expensive now because the fees have changed. Let's listen a little bit more, and we'll move to the next topic.
Fees. In the past, you could often submit a single check to cover all the required fees for your application package. Now the rule is to submit separate payments for each form that requires a fee, such as the Form I-130, Petition for Alien Relative, and the Form I-485, Application to Adjust Status. The process for medical exams has also been tightened. Previously, many applicants filing from within the U.S., adjusting status, could wait to submit their medical exam report, Form 1693, until their interview or until USCIS requested it. Now the strong preference, and in many cases requirement, is to submit the completed medical exam with your initial application packet. While the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer a mandatory part of this exam, you must ensure you have received all other required vaccinations. While many of the new procedural hurdles are clear, there are still areas of uncertainty that couples should be aware of. One of the biggest question marks is the future of processing times. Although we know delays are happening now due to the increased scrutiny, the long-term trajectory is unknown. The administration has stated a goal of improving efficiency, but the current policies of stricter reviews work directly against that.
And we're going to touch into that, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of processing time. They've ramped that up, and things are moving a little bit faster in many categories right now. And you got to understand that this is a well-oiled machine, and you need to know. So let's move on to the next topic here, and that's about, let's see, travel bans. Yeah, travel bans on the H-1B visa. And let's see. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. But before I get into that, let's look at let's get into the travel bans first of all, and then we'll move on to something a lot more interesting. Here we go. I'm just tempted not to. I'm going to show you what the panic is and the steer of what is happening with the people who are on the H-1B visas. Let me play that video first, and then I'll move into what Attorney McBean calls a travel bans. So let's share that with you first, and let's see what happens. There's a great panic that happened over the weekend, and I wanted to bring that to you. So let's bring that to you first of all. Here we go. Let's put that on the screen, and then we'll move into Attorney McBean addressing the issue. So here we go.
The H-1B visa situation in the U.S. has just taken a major turn, with flights to the U.S. packed overnight, and this is big news. The Silicon Valley wives of global travelers have rushed back to the U.S. overnight. On the evening of September 19th, President Donald Trump unexpectedly announced a new hike in the H-1B visa fees for high-tech workers, raising them to $100,000 per year. Anyone holding this visa who plans to re-enter the U.S. after the new policy takes effect after September 21st will need to pay the additional fees. The policy took effect at midnight Eastern Time on September 21st, causing panic among many overseas workers, especially those from China and India. On the 21st, flight prices from Shanghai to the US nearly doubled. A race against time began to unfold around the world. One experience shared by a Xiaohongshu blogger could easily make headlines. She had planned to fly from New York to France for a trip, but just as the plane was about to take off, she saw the news about the policy change. She immediately communicated with the flight attendants, and the captain turned the plane around just for her. Netizens joked, saying she was the master who forced the plane to turn back. The blogger shared her feelings, saying she was very disappointed and sad. She recalled how during the COVID outbreak, she had to return to China for the holidays, but the flight was canceled. After staying home for just 2 days, she was sent back to the US. Now, her planned trip to France was ruined, and she had to cancel on her friends, some of whom had flown in from China. She felt sorry and said that it made her realize how insignificant people are in this world.
Here's how. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a panic over the weekend after the announcement was made, and let's look at Attorney McBean right now to shed some light on this, so you have a greater understanding. So there's 2 videos of it, and she's gonna just shed some light on it for you. Here we go. Let's listen in. Let's bring that on the stage and listen in right now and hear what she has to say.
We know about the new $100,000 fee that will immediately impact H-1B visa holders. First of all, this is a travel ban. It restricts travel to the United States starting tomorrow, September 21st, for individuals outside of the United States with the H-1B visa. They must prove that they have paid this $100,000 fee before they could be allowed in.
So since she made that video, she had made a subsequent video to correct after the President Trump's administration laid out what was going on really in terms of how things are going to be processed moving forward. So she had laid out this in a video, and I want to bring that to you, which is now the updated version of what's going on. Here we go. Let's bring her on stage and hear what she has to say.
I have some very important updates to share with you about the H-1B visa $100,000 fee. The White House and USCIS have provided us with some critical information. And by the way, some of this information contradicts the proclamation. The first important piece of information that you need to know is that this only applies to new petitions that will be filed after September 21st, 2025. In other words, this will only impact those who will go through the next cycle of the H-1B lottery. If you already have your H-1B visa, this does not impact you. And as a matter of fact, they also clarified that you can travel in and out of the United States without any problems, and you will not be charged a fee to re-enter the United States. This is not an annual fee. It is a one-time fee that only applies to the petition at the time that you apply. If you're going to seek renewal or extensions or even a change of employer application that you're going to file with the government, you will not be impacted by this. You will not be responsible for this big fee for any of those processes. Again, because this will impact new petitions, those who will go through the next lottery cycle. Friends.
So listen, ladies and gentlemen, that was an update to explain to you what it really means, what according to what President Donald Trump laid out over the weekend. So a lot of people got nervous and there was a lot of frenzy in terms of what was going on. People were scrambling all over the place to get back here who had the H-1B visas. And Attorney Matt Bean laid it out for you so you can understand. We want to also touch on the citizens who are retirees overseas. You got to understand that things are changing and changing rapidly in a big way. So you got to keep abreast of what's going on, because you can lose your citizenship if you don't know, or you don't sign up, register with the State Department, the embassies on the STEP program, so you can get emails and so on, and communication back and forth from the United States. Check this out. Let's bring that to you right away so you can understand the ramifications of the new
Do you
changes that are
think
going
U.S. citizenship is permanent? That a blue passport will always protect you, grant you the right to return any time, and guarantee that you'll never lose your identity? The truth is, not exactly. Every year there are Americans living abroad who lose their citizenship. People who committed no crime, no betrayal, and often had no idea they were doing anything wrong. Yet they still lose it. All because of a single signature, a small line in a document they didn't read carefully, or an action that seemed harmless. One day, they wake up to realize their passport is no longer valid. The right to return to the U.S. has vanished. Social Security, Medicare, the right to vote, all gone. They are no longer U.S. citizens. The scariest part: most of them never imagined it could happen to them. In this video, we'll uncover 5 hidden traps, pitfalls that anyone living or retiring abroad could stumble into.
And if you want to know those 5 reasons, ladies and gentlemen, go back and look at my previous podcast. I went over them with a similar video. So check it out. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, and also share this with those who need to know. So you got to be careful. Make sure you're signed up to the STEP program with the U.S. Embassy, wherever you are in the world, retired, so you get up-to-date information and get it quick. You know what I mean? Because they're very good at that. So whenever I travel, I'm always signed up to the STEP program, that wherever I go, I get those emails, I can get those phone calls or text messages immediately. So you got to stay abreast of what's going on, because things are changing rapidly and you need to know before you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. And we're going to touch into a little bit more on one more video on U.S. immigration, and then we're going to go into some community events and community news, and then we're going to close the show after that. So let's get into that right now. One more video that you should know about U.S. citizenship. If you're applying for U.S. citizenship, things are moving faster, but you're getting more scrutinized in the process. So those who are applying for citizenship, it's happening faster. But let's listen to Brad Bernstein as he explains that to you in a logical way so you can understand. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is it, Brad Bernstein. Here we
I'm
go.
not sure who needs to know this, but naturalizations are happening pretty fast these days, averaging about 6 months start to finish. But be prepared. Know that immigration is going to review your prior green card applications for fraud. Expect to be questioned about how you got your green card and the process. If you got it through marriage, expect to be questioned about your marriage. And you now have to prove affirmatively good moral character. And citizenship test is now turning into 20 questions in which you have to get 12 right. But if you do it right or with the help of a good professional, it's happening really fast.
Okay, you heard it from attorney Brad Bernstein. Things are changing. They're moving more rapidly. And believe me, you got to stay ahead and steer the course and know before you go. Speak to an immigration attorney. Speak to an immigration specialist, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me, things are not the way they used to be. And this is not the time for fumble doubles. Believe me. Welcome back to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Do that right now. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. Share this family-friendly program, and you can also donate to us. Just look in the description section. You'll see, and I'll put that link up where you can also donate to this family-friendly show to keep it alive. We're going to go into some community events right now, and as you remember, on September 28th, Rakesh's memorial is going to be at Well Road in New Forest District in Manchester. So therefore, it's going to be Sunday. So remember, Rakesh passed away a year ago, and he left behind a wife and children. And we say support him, support his family. Do what you can to help them. They need your help. So go there, show up, and donate and or support the cause for that family. We lost a good brother who took care of his family. I knew them, but go there. It's on Sunday. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. It's a worthy cause. So on Sunday, Well Road in New Forest, September 28th. That's Sunday. You will that's Rakesh's memorial. So pass the word on and go there in full force and give support. God bless the family. I'm telling you, we're looking forward to everyone to turn out and support Rakesh's memorial. So also today is also Crazy Mondays. And you got to understand that Crazy Mondays happen every Mondays. And big up to Mel. Mel has Crazy Mondays every Monday. And it's at Ian's Lawn in New Forest District in Manchester. You'll be entertained by DJ Splendid and DJ Deshaun. And also the Team British. They'll be giving you some real good entertainment. Crazy Mondays is a great place to be, so check it out. Big up to Mel every time. Also, Miss Dion Curtis will be on air here on the 25th of September, right here at RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. It was rescheduled from today because of unforeseen circumstances. We hope all is well with Miss Dion, and we hope that everything works out so we can be on the show on Thursday, September 25th. You want to check it out. She's great. We want to talk about uniforms, how you can get them, what are the discounts, and how early should you come, and also what the emergency prices are. So she's going to go into all those details for you. So on Thursday, September 25th, big up to Miss Dion and D School Uniforms at 2 Market Street in Junction, St. Elizabeth, and that's upstairs between In Town Super Save and the library. Big up to D's School Uniform and Miss Dion Curtis, the founder. Big up to yourself. You know what I We also have Gallus Anthem. You remember Gallus Anthem is coming real quick. That's September 26th, 4 days from now. That's Friday. It's going to be a big deal with DJ Kino. It's his birthday celebration called Gallus Anthem. It's a street dance edition. This is a big, big deal, guys. Get ready. Get your stuff together. Really ready now. Get yourself ready because it's not going normal. You know what I mean? It's a big, big deal. And I'm telling you, is to miss this is a party of the century. Gallus Anthem is going to be a big deal. So big up yourself. DJ Kino, as Gallus Anthem is going to be a big deal. I'm telling you. Yeah, man. Gotta be there. Gallus Anthem. Also, remember Jamaican. Jamaican will be back here on the show. He's going to be on his tour. He's going to be talking to us from his location somewhere out there in the world. I won't tell you where it is, but it's way out there. And he'll be on a show on September 27th to tell you his story and talk about his journey and also his tour. And you can call in to any one of them, whether it be Naughty Virtue or Jamaican, but Jamaican is doing big things. And we say big up to Jamaican every time. The other, we have Naughty Virtue. Naughty Virtue will be here, ladies and gentlemen, on the 29th of September. It's going to be a big deal. Naughty Virtue has the Wake Up and Live new single that's tearing up the world right now. And it's a big, big deal. Big up to Naughty Virtue. He's going to be here to talk about it. You can call him and ask him some questions, but he's tearing up the entire world. When DJ Asher D dropped it in England, I'm telling you, that was over last Friday. It burned up the internet. It burned up the airwaves. It's a big deal on the 2-time rhythm. It's a big, big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, big up to Naughty Virtue. You'll see him here live on the 29th of September. I'm telling you, big deal. Yeah. So, also, Odette and Sandra right here in New York City, in Queens, that's Compound, 190 to 01 Linden Boulevard, Queens, New York. It's going to be Saint Best Togetherness. It's an annual event. You'll be entertained by DJ Andy, Echo Stone, Troy, Glamour, Wayne, the big deal. This is going to be a party to be reckoned with. It's an annual event, and I'm telling you, I've been to a few of them, and they never disappoint. If you want to dress up, if you have your pretty down in the closet, this is the time to take it out and dust it off. This is going to be October 4th, and it's going to be a big, big deal. Big up to Odette and Sandra, and also Mr. Deere. You know how it goes. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you got to remember Bucket. The Paint the City edition is going to be a big deal. In Junction City, October 26th, you have tickets that are now being sold out at Dimitri's gas station in Santa Cruz. Is it Dimitri's gas? It's Santa Cruz, Dimitri's, and Yardman gas station in Junction, Outer Space Drip in Junction, Jackie Wholesale in Junction, Ultimate Dining in Mandeville. It's going to be a big deal October 26th in Junction, St. Elizabeth, and I'm telling you, this is going to be off the chain. Get your tickets now before they go. Big up. Big up. Big up to the Impact crew. It is a big, big deal. Impact, you're making a real big impact. And Muma Sketel on the 6th of December, it's her annual party. It's called Ambition Over Hype, December 6th, 2025. You got to be there, ladies and gentlemen. TikTok Sound, year to year, is always there. And DJ Splendid at Time Is Now Car Wash in Prospect District in Manchester. It's going to be a big deal. Big up to Muma Sketel. Well, also, the Jerk Hut in Tampa Bay, that's my cousin. is going to have his anniversary in November. It's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big, big deal. You got to be at the Jerk Hut in Tampa, Florida in November. The whole month of November, they're going to celebrate. So I'm going to give you a clip of that on the screen right now. And you'll understand what I mean. The Jerk Hut is also, it's a chain of restaurants. It's like an icon place that tourists go. It's Jamaican cuisine, and I'm going to touch that right now so you can understand. So hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring that to the screen so you can understand what I mean. Goodness gracious me, here we go.
What it do, man? It's your boy Famous Kid Brick, and we at Jerk Hut. And y'all should know about Jerk Hut. It's been here for 32 years. The oxtail's going crazy. So you know I had to pull up and see what everything else inside was hitting for. Let's go! But y'all see I got the oxtails on my plate. Let's just go ahead and go big or go home. The oxtail, the ox is tailing. Oh yeah. Hold on. Cabbage. I'm gonna dip that cabbage in that gravy though, so it'll look like that right there. Rice and peas. We're gonna do the same. I need some oxtail gravy on that.
And this is Tampa Bay, Florida, ladies and gentlemen. It's an icon place. There's a chain of restaurants, and I'm telling you, it is off the chain. A lot of people, millions come from around the world that come to Tampa and Orlando. They have to go to the Jerk Hut. You have a buffet Jamaican way. Check this out. Here we go.
And you can't forget the sweet plantain. Nah, they got a buffet going on. Okay then, we got the big buffet each and every day here at Jerk Hut. You know they gonna have the beef patties. Oh, there go the tongs. This is what I'm looking for right here. You gonna grab that beef patty right there. And then they have a lot of stuff, but they have oxtail gravy. This is what I wanna do. I wanna put the oxtail gravy on my beef patty. You gotta put oxtail gravy on your beef patty. Now, I got jerk pork. Look at that. Look like little rib tips. You can taste the char on these. Here is the famous Jerk Hut chicken. The famous Jerk Hut chicken. They have it soaked in the red sauce, marinated for hours, days, however you want to say. You know what I'm saying? We got green jerk sauce. Put it on that chicken here at Jerk Hut. Wow. This is a blend of all ingredients that give jerk its unique taste. Try mixing it with Andrew's famous sweet and tasty red sauce. Red sauce. This is the famous red sauce, guys. Shout out to that boy Andrew. Hopefully this ain't the hottest red sauce. It is? They just saved me, but I'm gonna take a little bite instead of a big bite now. Okay. I need water.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Andrew makes the sauce on location. So it's Jerk Hut sauces the Jamaican way, and the sauces are off the chain. If you're in Florida, go to Tampa and visit the Jerk Hut. Check this out. We're gonna
I need water. Hey, this is the red sauce that I was supposed to get. This is not the hot one. This is the famous Jerk Hut red sauce. Got the rice and peas. Let me go ahead and throw my cabbage on here too. We're gonna make a plate. We're gonna go big curry. I do the gravy. I hit him with the gravy first. And then we gonna put them toppings on there. Let me get that. Oh yeah, the rum punch is going crazy. Oh yeah, I could taste every ingredient. Then I got this pineapple ginger juice. Come on. super refreshing. You can taste the ginger. They seem to got the pineapple right here too. If you ever in the Tampa Bay area and you want some drinks and eats like this, you can only get them from one place and one place only, and that's Jerk Hut. Let's go.
Oh yeah, big up to the Jerk Hut. Yeah, big deal. Andrew Ashmead, he hails from Christiana, Jamaica, and they've started a beautiful thing over there in Tampa, Florida, and it's a chain of restaurants, and this is a big deal in Florida. Don't miss it, guys. If you're there in Florida, check it out. It's amazing. You get what I'm saying? So it is a big deal, and we got to say hats off to Andrew and the Jerk Hut crew every time. It's a beautiful thing. And we're going to now touch into Randy and Otis. Randy and Otis, they have their Boxing Day event coming up in December. You know when Boxing Day is, right? Yeah, let's check out Boxing Day event from Randy and Otis. And this is going to be a big deal on December 26th in, that's Buck Up District, or what you call it, Turn a Top. Yeah, it's going to be a big deal. So where's his poster? Let's get his poster up here. His poster is hiding from me. But this is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. But this is going to be the party of all parties, the original Boxing Day event on December 26th at Mango Tree Bar in Turn a Top, Manchester. Randy and Otis will be having the Big Bad Eagle Force, and it's going to be a force to be reckoned with. This is one of those parties you can't miss. It's in the festive season. Everybody's going to converge there during the Christmas. You know, everybody from Farin. And you have the rum fatigue crew. It's going to be a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. So be there or be square. And if you're in South Central Jamaica, just remember, you can visit these spots. I'm going to tell you right now, make it a part of your bucket list, because if you don't, you won't have a great time. And if you want to have a great time, check out these places like, the Right Spot, Misha's Right Spot in Sear District in Manchester. I'm telling you, it's a place that you want to be all the time. And it's a beautiful spot. You can enjoy yourself right there at the Right Spot. And also, we're going to look at Top Rock. Top Rock Bar. It's a seafood venue. I'm going to put that up in a second. Top Rock is a seafood venue. And believe me, the food is great. And there's a bar there. The atmosphere is great. Check it out. But if you're closer to Downs District in Manchester, you can check out Bowles Fish Stop. Bowles Fish Stop has the oval, so you can be outside or you can be inside. The cricket oval is there. It has a nice little looking tiki bar, and he has an indoor section at Bowles Fish Spot next door, or Fish Stop, that you can visit and go indoors, and you'll be fine. It's a beautiful venue, and you check it out. But if you're closer to the Mystic Inn, which is in Sea Air District in Manchester, that's my place. Check it out if you want to have a great time. It's a beautiful thing. You'll see it here on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, it's always great to have you here. We're going to close the show, and we say, always pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in. And always remember, God is in control. And never forget that. And we say thank you to each and every one for being here. We really appreciate you. If please remember to donate to the channel and support this family-friendly show. You can look down below and you'll see all our contact information or how you can send monies over. And also our contact information is also down below how you can join the show. Look out for the dates coming in. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click those notification bell, and also remember to share. Share, ladies and gentlemen, share it. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. We say Big up every time. God bless you, and we'll see you at the next show. RAMP Promotions is at you.